Now tell me, you've never ran for office before, have you?
It's the first time in county commission. I
In
did run
county?
one time
Right.
for coroner. Been several years ago.
Okay. Why did why do you want to do it? Why did you decide to run for a commission?
Well, I've always been in public service. I've worked in law enforcement for a long time, and I've got about over 20 years experience in law enforcement. And the reason I ran for county commission, I want to try to make a difference, serve the people.
What did you do in law enforcement?
Well, I was chief of police at one time for Notasulga, served
Okay.
there as chief of police. Worked with Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Department as a deputy sheriff for several years, and currently working with City of Tuskegee
Okay.
as an investigator.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you personally plan to do to bring jobs to Tallapoosa County?
Well, the South End in Forest District 5, I want to work for everyone in Tallapoosa County, serve the whole county. But in District 5, I'd like to bring revenue there, with jobs, try to attract new businesses. The smaller businesses is more brings revenue and jobs. Um, we, like to see new growth in Tallahassee. You have the city that covers Elmore County side and Tallapoosa County.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as East Tallahassee goes, the city, we don't have a lot of growth in Tallahassee, and I'd like to see that change, to see new businesses come to the east side of Tallahassee that would bring more revenue and jobs to citizens of Tallapoosa County.
Okay. Overall, just what are your plans to improve Tallapoosa County aside from the jobs?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
what are the most important issues in your district?
Well, roads is always your first primary concern. We have a lot of roads and bridges that need repair and fixing. But parks and the a lot of our parks is needs updating and improving, and I would like to see that changed. And for us, the younger people, give them something to do. Being in law enforcement, you see a lot of things that happen that it's always about prevention.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, well, really, law enforcement don't have anything to do with the county commission. In a lot of ways, I feel it does, because I see the needs of things that we can bring and improve. And for us, the parks, and if you got something for teenagers to do, it keeps them off the street, keeps them out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would like to improve that, bring our recreation areas up to standards, and try to even make other areas for teenagers to have something to do.
Okay. What are your ideas for as far as new things? I mean, aside from kind of fixing up the stuff
Yes,
you
ma'am.
already have.
Like I said, anything that you can attract to do as far as the recreation areas. I would like to see new parks, and I know we just covered that. But always there are different businesses that you can try to attract.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that we would ever get it, but theaters or
Right.
bowling alleys, something that we could bring in that would also bring revenue to Tallapoosa County, and also, on the other hand, give the younger citizens something to do. I was talking to some young people the other day in Tallahassee, and they're like, well, we just don't have anything to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to drive to Montgomery or Auburn to even go to a movie.
Right.
So that's something I'd like to see come to that area.
Okay. What about the school systems? What do you think you could do to improve education?
Yes, ma'am. Working with the school systems, I want to support all schools, not only District 5, but all schools in Tallapoosa County, because education is very important. One of my concerns with the school is safety first. I'd like to see more security in the schools, and more programs for, like it's been in the news all over the place about bullying in schools. Being in law enforcement, I know we actually have those problems in Tallapoosa County schools.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheriff does a great job in dealing with that. But I would like to see more security in the school systems, more programs that are there in place for that type of problems. That people have, the teenagers or students have someone that they can turn to.
Okay.
So I would like to work for that, and for as also with the athletic departments with the school. Again, that goes back to if you got something for them to do that keeps them out of trouble, occupied, and so I would like to support the athletic departments, the bands, try to help fund them with that where we can, and improve that.
Okay. Now going back, you had mentioned the roads earlier. I know there's been talk with the system that they have. Are you in favor of the district system with the county roads, or do you think it should be centralized?
I'm not sure what you're far as the district. I mean, the central. You mean far as the roads like discretionary?
Honestly, this is one of the questions that my editor said to make sure I ask. Are you in favor of the district system of the county road department, or should it be centralized? And I haven't heard a lot about that, so I'm not really sure. But
I believe I understand what you're saying. Far as the district, each commissioner, you got to be responsible for your district. But again, I would want to work together with all the commissioners for. So I think that would be something that all commissioners would need to vote on.
Okay. Now, if you're elected, how will you stay in touch with your constituents? What's your preferred method
Yes,
of
ma'am.
contact?
Well, I make myself available anytime. My phone number or what I would also like to have is something I haven't seen. And I've been a resident of Tallapoosa County for 47 years, and actually have been lived in District 5 for that period of time. But I would like to hold like town hall meetings occasionally within my district to see what the citizens' concerns are, because they elect me, or they elect the commissioner. And after the election's over, then we still need to hear what their concerns are so that we can address those problems.
Okay.
So I would make myself available and also try to hold those type meetings, very often, in a couple times a year, 3 times a year, whatever, so that we can see what the concerns are.
You have here on your card about supporting small business owners. What's your plans with that?
Well, again, the small businesses, mom and pop stores, we call them, are very, very important. And you see more and more going out of business. Lower taxes for those people. You got to try not to raise taxes, but so that is, one of the concerns. Any way that I can support them, I'd be there to help them. I'd like to see more of them open, because if they are the backbone of the county or the state. The more little stores that we have to open is more sales tax, more business license, and so that the more we can attract, the more money that we would make for its revenue.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I had. Is there anything you want to add? Just one last, why people should vote
Yes,
for
ma'am.
you?
Well, like I said, I've been a citizen of District 5 for 47 years now, and I've served a lot of time as a public servant for the county, and I want to continue to do that. I'll make myself available whenever I'm needed. Be an open door that they can contact me, and I'll be glad to meet with them, or they can come to me. But I will always be available. If the people will vote for me and elect me to serve as county commission, I will serve with honor, and I will be fair and equal to everyone, whether they're Democrat, Republican, Independent, rich or poor. I will be there to support them.
Okay.
So if they'll give me a shot at it, I'll be there to do a good job for them.
All right. Well
Thank
said. The only other thing we need to do is, all right.
I also like to include, discretionary money for the county commissioners. That's been, in the past, question of whether we need to keep that in place or do away with it. I would be in favor of keeping the discretionary funds available to the county commissioner for the reason that you have a lot of senior citizen programs and the different activities that money can be spent toward to assist with funding, especially for the elderly. And so the discretionary money to me is very important for each commissioner to be able to have. And also, if there's something going on in my district or the next commissioner's district, that money can also be used, not only in my district but to assist with the other districts. So, water lines, any type problems that they have that we could use it for, would be great. I just wanted to include that.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay.